Welcome back to Old School New School Podcast, episode 76.
I'm Scott and I'm old school.
I'm Chester and I'm New School, and today we're going to be starting our series on all the NFL teams and basically going down a line of what we think they need. And kind of looking at them and seeing how they can improve.
Yep, little deep dive
Yeah.
for each team during the off season. We're gonna start with might as well start with the team that's on the clock.
Yeah.
Number one draft pick is the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Should I give it a little rundown of what they did?
Sure.
Okay, Brian Callahan is their coach. It's his second year. He was the offensive coordinator of the Bengals. It looks like he didn't have a lot to work with. They got rid of Derrick Henry, which was a huge part of their offense previously. Will Levis.
You're throwing in an experimental quarterback.
Yeah.
You know?
Will Levis, 13 TDs, 12 interceptions, a little over 2,000 yards. They were 3-14. They beat the Dolphins, the Texans, when I think they were all hurt, and the Patriots. Those were their three wins. Their offense was ranked 26th with 18 points per game, which was pretty low, bottom feeder. And their defense actually, they didn't give up a lot of yards, but they gave up a lot of TDs, and they gave up a lot of points.
Yeah.
27 points per game, which was in the 30s in terms of...
Yeah.
So, they don't have a lot to work.
Obviously.
It seems like they need everything. This is what's going to happen with these teams that are on the bottom. Need a lot of pieces. Their best players were Jeffrey Simmons, who's a defensive tackle, and Calvin Ridley, which most people know about, great wide receiver.
On the Falcons
and Tony Pollard, who was on the Cowboys, who had over 1,000 yards, but no offense to Tony Pollard, but when he's ranked as one of your top three players on the team, I think you need to build. It seems like they need everything. They need defense, they need offense. Question for you. What do you think of Will Levis?
What do I think? I just think he's just like, he makes those stupid mistakes. He
totally imploded in the fourth quarter. Remember, they were about to beat the Bears in like week one. Week one. And he imploded.
And he threw like two picks and fumbled the ball, and they couldn't move the ball. I just think that it's not possible. It's crazy to think that everyone thought this Will Levis was this amazing quarterback and thought he was going to be in the top 5. He dropped all the way to the third round, and now it doesn't look too good for him for the future. We don't know what the future is going to look like for him. But I think you have to move on. I think you
think you bring in a quarterback?
I think maybe I'm saying as in quarterback, as in maybe you trade for someone, or you keep Levis, right? And you draft, Travis Hunter at the 1, right? Like, I feel like there's a couple different routes you could go.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the real question is, do you think Will Levis can do it? Can get you to the playoffs? Can you get you deep into the playoffs? I mean, it's tough to say because the team in general
needs a lot of help. He doesn't have much supporting him, right?
He needs a lot of help around him. It's tricky. It was only his first full year. You're expecting him. You're hoping. I myself don't think they should draft a quarterback this year.
I would agree with that.
Only because it's a weak quarterback class. I guess the question is, do you trade out of the number 1 to get... That's tricky. It worked for the Bears, but it's not going to work for everybody. You may trade that number 1 pick and get that number 1 pick next year, but you may end up with the 10th or 12th pick, depending on what that team you trade does. So, okay. You're drafting. You're the GM of the Titans. Who are you picking?
If you can't trade away and you have the number 1.
You're keeping the number 1.
Okay. I mean, I think you have to go with Travis Hunter, right? You take Travis Hunter, and you hope that this will help, Levis go into this, what he kind of looked like in college, or you take Abdul Carter and you sign some people in the off season onto your offense because, it seems like there's an offensive problem. It seems like there's problems on both sides of the ball,
Yeah.
but it seems like a pretty big offensive problem.
Right. I mean, if you draft, Abdul Carter, then you've got two studs on the defensive line.
Yeah.
Which is great unless your defensive backfield is terrible.
Yeah.
It gets really tricky. If you want my opinion, I think you take Hunter.
Yeah, I think so.
I think because that kid's got the most upside.
Yeah.
You take him, you say, okay, we're going to let you play both ways.
Yeah.
But you're going to get I don't know. My feeling is he should stay on the defensive side. That should be his main side of the ball. And get 10, 15 reps on the offensive side.
Yeah.
I think that's the smartest
Because
way to do it. You can't play full both sides.
It's
It's too grueling of a game. He's going to get destroyed.
Yeah, in the NFL, it's just like, it's
I mean, people can barely make it through 17 games healthy playing one side of the ball.
I think what I would say is, I know this is a very hypothetical thing, right? Do you take Hunter at the 1? You're going into the 3rd or 4th round. A quarterback like Milroe or Jackson Dart is still there, or do you take him just in case Will Levis turns out just implodes again and he just is even worse than he was this season? You're like, whatever, we're gonna just throw you in there because we don't have any other ideas.
Yeah, I think it's tricky.
Mm-hmm.
If you bring in a vet quarterback, a free I mean, I know Rodgers doesn't want to go there because he wants to go to a team that's on the precipice. I think he would do terrible in Tennessee. I don't think it would be a good fit. But if you bring in what's his name from the Vikings?
Darnold. Tim Darnold.
He's still pretty young.
Yeah, he's like 25 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
so you're kind of destroying Will Levis. You're saying he's going to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
Or do you try to bring in Matthew Stafford?
I think Stafford might be with the Rams the rest of his
I
career.
agree,
I
but
think he will.
It's tricky. If you think Levis is the future, you want to bring in somebody for a year and a half or 2 years. You don't want to bring in a younger person. So that's the tricky part. If you don't, then yes, I think you need to draft somebody in the 3rd round or something like that. If those dudes are available.
Yeah.
Or maybe even 6th round. If there's somebody you really like that's from a smaller college that you think has what it takes. I mean, you never know. I mean, they need a lot. They need a lot of people.
Yes.
So you might not want to waste a 3rd round pick on a quarterback that's going to sit behind, but you got to bring in somebody. But I think they're going to roll with Levis again.
Yeah, I mean...
then you just got to build around him. You got to give him some pieces. I don't think a running back... I mean, Pollard will be good for another year or so, I think. I mean, you put up 1,000 yards. That's solid.
I think Pollard's definitely a solid running back, and I think that's, it's sustainable, and it doesn't make you need to get that, very talented running back or get that really high level running back. So I think they're fine in that category. Maybe there's something to do with the offensive line. I don't know. I haven't watched the Titans game.
Not a lot of options to see them. See them play. I mean, offensive line always helps.
Yeah.
We saw that in the Super Bowl. Defensive line and offensive line are very important. It's tricky. It depends on how they want to build. He's an offensive coordinator, which means he's the coach's offensive background. So he's probably going to want to go offensive, which is fine. I mean, you bring in a wide receiver to pair with Ridley. There's no real top receivers in the draft. I mean, unless you want Hunter to be a receiver.
Yeah.
My opinion, he's going to be better on the defensive
I
side.
don't know. The kid out of Missouri is very good.
It's true.
Luther Burden is he's basically by him and maybe McMillan out of Arizona. Those are basically top guys.
Okay.
Other than them, I don't think there will be another receiver that.
Yeah, but I don't. Can you pass on Hunter?
No, I don't think you can. Especially not. I mean, unless there's a team that's willing to give you something that you really think is worth it for you to drop a couple spots and then you take this wide receiver, I don't see why they would.
And that's the thing. You can't drop past 5.
Right? Yeah, because you don't. Because this class outside of quarterbacks is very good. Inside of quarterbacks is low.
Right.
But if there's that team that really wants that quarterback and they think the Titans will take him, maybe we see the Giants trade up, right?
Yeah.
Like high or something, or
and there hasn't
Patriots or something.
there hasn't been a lot of talk about bringing in another quarterback.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been
And
any.
with Callahan, he worked with Burrow. He knows how to deal with he knows what he has.
Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl with the Bengals, right?
So he knows what I feel like he's gonna stick with him. So
yeah.
Then I think you go with Hunter, and you're hoping to get 6 or 7 wins.
Yeah.
You're not trying to get to the playoffs. You're trying to build.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's where the Titans are. I like their logo. I think their uniform's cool.
Okay.
I like the little sword and
Okay.
I don't know.
Good for you. Your graphic designers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the
Those are
Titans.
the Titans,
They need a
yeah.
lot of help.
Yeah.
And you need to have a good draft. Maybe bring in some free agents.
Yeah, definitely.
But you got to start somewhere. And I think Hunter is a good place to
Yeah,
start.
for sure.
That would be my opinion.
Alright.
So that's the Titans.
Yeah.
Titans fans. I know it was a rough year, but hopefully, you bring in some of these kids and you have hope.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, let us know what you would do with the Titans.
Yeah,
down below, and make sure you like
Yeah,
and subscribe, and
and that's it.
we're doing this for all 32 NFL teams. So.
Yeah, we're gonna get through the first 4 or 5. 5 or 6, 7, 8, to the draft. Draft is end of April, which is good because those are the teams that need the draft the most. So we'll get through that, and then we're gonna be the dog days of summer, where we're just going through every other team, and we're just gonna go in draft order because it makes most sense. Once we get to the draft, we'll be able to talk about who's got drafted, but these teams they need a lot of help. All these teams do. So that's it.
Yeah, that's it, and maybe we'll have a March Madness special.
Oh yeah, March Madness special.
That's coming up, so that's cool.
Yeah, you've been into the college basketball. So.
All right,
That's it.
that's great.
Okay. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.